Kevin Hassett, the Director of National Economic Council of the United States. You obviously are here to respond to the critics as we do watch Hakeem Jeffries take to this lengthy speech on the House floor. How do you respond to his criticisms? I mean, one of his biggest points is that this bill will hurt the country fiscally. To that you say what? No, what I'm saying is that he's engaged right now in a truly senseless and futile effort to stop a bill that's going to pass. And by doing that, he's showing that he supports the biggest tax hike in history. He supports insecure borders. He supports basically putting millions and millions of people out of work because of the biggest tax hike in history. Talk about losing health insurance and deals with the devil. This position that the Democrats are taking is completely economically indefensible. And they haven't, think about it this way, they haven't had one person vote for the bill. And so they're all on the record now saying, hey, you know what? Your overtime, I want to tax it. Your tips, I want to tax them. Your Social Security benefits, I want to tax them. Your border, I want it wide open. I just can't believe that the party has fallen so far away from the party that, you know, Bill Clinton, back when he said that the era of big government is over, well, now it's like the era of socialism has taken over the Democratic Party. So is it your prediction at this hour, as we watch this ongoing speech, and lots of water to get him through it, that this will ultimately make it to the president's desk? It's going to 100% make it to the president's desk. We expect that it'll pass today and that there'll be a big ceremony at the White House tomorrow. So as far as AOC and some of these critics who have been blasting the bill on the floor, Kevin, they have said this is a tax break for billionaires. There are some Republicans also who are saying, I'll vote for it, but they concede that it's not perfect. Mike Herodopoulos out of Florida admits if we're looking for perfect, you're in the wrong town. So how do you address those critics? I mean, at some point, right, we're talking about angels on the head of a pin or something. This is as good a bill as I've ever seen. This is the best, most beautiful tax bill in American history. There isn't even a second place that's close because it's going to create so many jobs. It's going to add $10,000 into the pockets of the typical American family. It's going to put millions and millions of more people to work. And it's going to help seniors who want to make a little more money than their Social Security is giving them right now work a little bit part-time and have more money in their pockets as well. Okay, so every single thing about this bill is like supercharging the economy. And you don't really have to believe me, Sandra. Just look at the data today. They had a huge job number today since President Trump's in office, because people are anticipating all the positive economic effects of his policies, that we've created more than 2 million jobs for U.S. residents, and everybody said that while we were deporting the illegals, that it would make it so that there wouldn't be any jobs, there wouldn't be any production, we'd have a recession, and we've actually cut non-resident employment by 500,000 at the same time. And so we're creating all these jobs. We just got advanced durables numbers today that showed that there's a capital spending boom as well. So this is as good as it gets for an economy, and it's as beautiful a bill as I can imagine. So let me dig into that a little bit, because obviously you're warning that of the economic peril that would follow not getting this through, and you know, those tax cuts not remaining in place. But what can you tell us about the impact this will have, with your certainty that it does make it to the president's desk? You know, I still see that since Election Day, gas prices are still up 2.7%. Since Inauguration Day, gas prices are up 2%. Will this result in lowering prices? I mean, you go back to Election Day, and one of the #1 concerns of the American people has been inflation and high prices and wage growth. Can you promise the American people that this will ultimately improve their economic status and their economic, you know, comfort here in this country? For sure. And the way to think about it, and happy to come on next week with the chart, that if you look at every single measure of inflation has gone down sharply since President Trump took office. And in fact, the most recent runs are below the 2% target of the Federal Reserve after getting, 9% inflation from Joe Biden. And you can say, well, why is it that inflation is going down so much? It's because what President Trump's doing is he's creating a supply explosion. And when you have a supply explosion, then there are more goods and the price of goods goes down. And so inflation is way, way down. And it's not just, a macroeconomic thing. You might have seen that the president tweeted that Waffle House has taken off the surcharge on eggs.
because even egg prices have gone down, despite coming in with the avian flu problem that we inherited from Joe Biden.
All right, so leave us off with a thought here. As I can imagine, there are lawmakers who are still watching Hakeem Jeffries on the House floor. He's still going.
I can't imagine anyone still watching.
I mean, well, we've got to cover it. We came in today, right? It's July 3rd. There's got to be some planes to catch. Just leave us off, I guess, with, are you, Speaker Johnson is saying that Republicans now, even the skeptical Republicans, are now excited to pass this. Can you give us a characterization of what you're hearing?
Yeah, and what I'm hearing is that I was in the Oval with the president late in the afternoon, and I don't think I've ever seen a president work harder than he worked yesterday. He talked to just about everybody in the House and went over the benefits of the bill. And I think by the end of the day, there was a massive amount of enthusiasm for the bill, even for the folks who were skeptical, like the Freedom Caucus. But also don't forget that it's the job of the legislators to fight for the things that they believe in, but there's a lot of them. And so sometimes they disagree. But in the end, Speaker Johnson and Majority Leader Thune have driven an incredible process forward. They've gotten enough agreement that we've got a historic new law, and it's something to celebrate on this 4th of July.
All right, so I heard you say you'll come back next week. We'll take you up on that, and we'll follow up on this.
Absolutely.
All right. Kevin, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, Sandra.
All right.